Hey, it's Mike with Narcs Electric Customs coming today with episode 10 for Project Stanley. Today we're basically going to go over where I'm at on the roadkill list and install the drive shaft. So let's get started. Okay, so if you haven't seen the other videos, Project Stanley is our 66 GMC truck that I've had for 22 years that my grandfather had before me. He bought it in 1967. Our goal with it is to turn it back into a daily driver for me and my family. So I've completely done the interior, and right now I'm doing a 5.3 LS and a 4L80 swap. So basically I started the roadkill list because I was trying to make an event that actually happened yesterday, and I just didn't have the motivation and drive to finish all of it before the event because I have another project in the shop that is a customer's. So in my mind, a lot of times the customer project comes before my own. So I was trying to move forward on it more, and the old truck slipped away. So anyways, we're going to go over the roadkill list real quick, and then I'm going to install the drive shaft, and then I'm down to really just little stuff. So basically where we're at, I've been check marking things, made this big list a couple weeks ago with our buddy Justin Van Lanningham that was out here. So basically we've got everything except wiring for the electric fuel pump. I'm fixing to install the drive shaft. See if you can see this, and I'll kind of go over a little bit with it. Okay, so I was basically going to use the old drive shaft, and I would have had an adapter U-joint that would have put it here, but for 40 bucks he gave me a new, whatever you would call this thing, and I can now use a factory style or readily available U-joint in this instead of having some adapter. So that'll help on the road, especially since with all the driving and the trips we want to take in the old truck. That'll help it be, if something does happen, I can replace this a lot easier than having to order one or have somebody overnight me one. So anyways, thanks to Larry's for getting that knocked out. So my goal for today is to get that in. I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm going to get the drive shaft in so I can mark that off. I've started on the exhaust, and once I pull it back out, I'll show you guys what it looks like. It is basically a factory, the Tahoe, the 05 Tahoe I pulled the engine from. I've basically used its exhaust back through the cats and the Y pipe to try and get back behind the transmission crossmember, and then I'll use the Flowmaster that was on the truck. So my goal is to get that done this week, but also get some other stuff done on Project Elsie. So the reason I'm using it is obviously you have to run O2 sensors in the computer to make it understand and get the most performance and things like that. So have that on there. The correct front springs mean I have to figure out a way, since the springs are so low, I have to figure out a way to make them stop moving out like this. So I'm going to try a couple different spring sets that I have that I've pulled from other projects. So I've got front springs from a 2000 Mustang GT from Project Nameless that was in here. So I'm going to grab those and try and throw them in. If that doesn't work, I really want to raise the front end up a little bit. So I may try and actually buy some springs, which is against my nature, but we're going to try something. I need it up just a little bit because of the way the catalytic converters hang. They're under the frame about this much, and about 1.5 inches probably. I don't think that's 1.5 inches, about that. So I need to get them moved up, or I need to get the truck lifted so I can do it, because I can't move them up inside the frame anymore just because of the routing, and I'm not very good at exhaust work. So because it's my first time. So we're just going to do that for now, and again, we're going turbo in a couple months, so it doesn't really matter. I just need it running and driving. So exhaust, correct front springs. It says fab bracket for rear sway bar. I am putting a rear sway bar on it that I bought from Ryan Bratton probably 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm putting it on. It's from an S10, but I hope it will give me a little less body roll, a little more stiffness. So just something in the back to kind of help with that, because we're going from an engine that probably made 150 horsepower to now we're going to an engine that makes, say, 280. So 250 really, I don't know, who cares. I need to do the wiring for the power for the computer and the harness and everything. I need to pick up a mass airflow sensor this week, and then I need to fill with fluids. I've built one strap for the fuel tank. I didn't get any video of that, of course, so I'll video as I do the other one. I need to install spark plugs, dipstick tubes for both of them. Trim U-bolts. The U-bolts in the back were super long because I pulled out 4 leaf springs. So I need to trim them. They are actually hitting the inside of the CPP notch, the little mini notch that's in the frame. So I'll pull them out one at a time, trim them down, clean up the edges so I can bolt them down, and they won't hit that anymore because the truck will have quite a bit more flex as we add more power. So try and get that fixed. And the door panel part here, I'm going to spin the camera around and show you what I'm talking about for you. So when I was 15, we put some 6x9s in the door, and when we did that, obviously we just cut a gigantic hole. Well, now that I have the plasma cutter and it's easier, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but doing it with a grinder would just suck. So with the plasma cutter, it'll be much easier. So I'm going to take sometime in the next 2 weeks and make a template of this as this raised part here, and I'm going to cut out a piece of metal for each side that'll sit in this, and then I'll find some screw heads that are like this, and basically make a new panel to cover this and paint it the color of the door. So I'm on the lookout for some door or for some armrest pulls or door pulls. So that's basically it for the plan for the rest of the truck, and then drive the wheels off of it. So let's get started today putting the drive shaft in. Okay, so we got the drive shaft slid in to the yoke. Now we're just putting it into the rear axle here. A lot of times it's nice to have that extra set of hands out here with you. Come on. Plus for the moral support. So, I have a buddy named Brian Clark that came over with the exhaust the other night, and he just kept saying he didn't know a whole lot, so he was giving moral support. But having somebody in the shop is a huge plus. So, come on, just. This is where that extra set of hands would come in nice. So you could have somebody hold it. Keep thinking my hands will quit cramping at some point, but they haven't yet. I figure, you work out here enough, the muscles in your hands get stronger, and I feel like they certainly have, but okay. So drive shaft is in, so it's marked off. Now it's time to make the second strap. So this came from the 02 Tahoe that we're working on for Project Elsie, that we pulled the engine from it. This is the gas tank strap from it. So I'm going to start the process of making it the gas tank strap for Stanley. So let's get started. First thing we got to do is get this little curve out here. So basically going to take and step on it and straighten that out some. Okay, now we got to get this one out. Perfect. Now that one. So now we have something flat to work with. And I'll show you a little process here in a minute. Okay, so basically this will run from a mount, a cross member that's on the truck already. It'll run down, fold under the tank, but it's too short, obviously, to reach the other side. So I'm going to cut it here. That way I can weld on a piece that go from here to the other side. So I'm going to get it cut. All right, so it's not pretty, but just for being in for now, Fuel tank is in by the straps. So on to the next thing. Well, there's the basic stage 1 exhaust tacked together, except for the little middle part right here, which I cut about 1.5 inches to 2 inches too short. So I've got some piping inside the house. I just didn't want to go inside. It's about midnight, so I didn't want to go inside and wake everybody up, then come back out here because I've got work tomorrow. So I'm gonna flip around and we'll do a recap. Okay, so for a recap for episode 10 of Stanley, basically got the straps done for the fuel tank, which you saw earlier. Got the exhaust figured out and routed. I did cut a piece about 2 inches short, so I've got some in the house I'll fix tomorrow. And then I'm going to have an exhaust shop. There's a Midas right down the street from me. I'm going to have them bend the exhaust pipe up just a little bit on the short section there that had the Flowmaster on it. So everything will clear good and it won't have a weird angle and it won't be pulling on any gaskets or anything like that. So anyways, that's about it for that. I'm going to be out here tomorrow night working on Project Elsie. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with Project Stanley. Hopefully we'll be starting it in the next 2 weeks. So subscribe to the channel and find us on Facebook at Narcoleptic Customs. Thanks.